There we
And we
go.
are live now. We had some technical difficulties getting live just now. Yeah, welcome everyone. This is Anything GUEs. We are a figure skating news website. We send journalists to the events like Anna, who's at the Olympics right now, which we are very proud of. And yeah, please, if you're new here, please follow all of our social media things below profiles.
Accounts? Yeah.
Accounts. Lois said it was very early. I feel that. Okay, I wanted to do it earlier, but maybe I'm reconsidering.
Yeah,
I
please
have to
don't be doing that.
On another day, I would have been happy to do it earlier. I didn't get home from the opening ceremony until almost 1 a.m., so I'm very happy to have had time to sleep in, go to the very end of the hotel breakfast, and spend a couple hours of just like processing
Decompressing.
things, doing work. Like I'm just like, I have not left the hotel yet today. I'm just like, this is what I needed, was a calm morning. Though I think in general, this is going to be less intense in some ways than many competitions, because there's just, once we get past the team event, just one
much
event a
spread
day.
out.
Yeah, it's a lot more spread out. But yesterday was really packed. So
Yeah, I remember when we were at Sheffield, it was like 13-hour days. And
Yeah,
just at
it's
the
rough.
arena. And then you obviously have to eat and stuff outside of that. So that was intense. And I feel like
And
the
if you
5
go to-
hours are going to be good.
if you go to practices in the morning, and then if you stay for press conferences, you can easily spend like 16, 17-hour days at a rink. So yeah, this is a little less intense in some ways. It's more intense because it's the Olympics, but it's also less intense in terms of the schedule.
So how was the opening ceremony?
Really cool. Way too long. Those are my two major comments.
I think it's the same with every opening ceremony, because like I remember the commentators going, well, the flags are supposed to take 63 minutes. That's not going to happen. It went about 40 minutes longer than that.
Yeah, so a couple of things that were really interesting. Basically, I loved every part that was like dancers and live music, and the artistic part of it was really, really cool. I especially liked all of the opening pieces with the dancers and the color mixing, and I don't know, it was very cool to see as a live performance. I actually, despite having just mocked Andrea Bocelli recently, the Andrea Bocelli Turandot was like, oh, I'm a sucker for Turandot always. And so those were both really cool. And like there was some stuff that I wasn't expecting to be kind of moved by that I was. Like there was a part performing a poem about peace, and the dancers made the dove on the stage, and I feel kind of cynical about the Olympic truce and about the, Olympics as this message of peace. And at the same time, I ended up feeling really moved by it. I think because it wasn't like the generic parts of the speeches, it was something that was like an actual work of art that somebody had put, real thought and sort of non-obvious thought into, both in terms of the words and then how they were portrayed in the live performance. So, good job, Italy, I feel like, for showing your, like, we are a hub of culture of all different kinds. Like, look at all of the cool artistic things we can do. I feel like that was really on display.
Yeah, we were all watching it together in the Discord, which you can join if you join the Patreon for as little as £1 per month. Yeah, we were having a good time, but it was way too long. At one point, we were talking about our favorite pasta shapes. I had a very controversial opinion about Italian food, which
I
will
was
not
so
be repeated.
happy. I was so happy to be watching that, because that was the point where I was dying, because the seats in the auditorium, so the seats in San Siro Stadium are really uncomfortable. Like they basically come to like halfway down, like they're like those seats that are like too short, so it's like halfway on my thigh, and I'm just like,
Oh no,
it was so uncomfortable. Quite cold by the end of it. I had a bit of a, okay, now this is the point where I complain about all of the logistics of it for a second.
I saw a lot of Reddit posts about that. People were not happy.
Yeah, and on the one hand, I feel silly to complain because I had the easiest time of this. I did not have to pay, and stress about getting tickets. It was kind of amazing. We're here with accreditation as a sports-specific media outlet, and so the ISU was able to put in for tickets for the opening ceremony for me, which was great. And I think in general, that's what National Olympic Committees do for the outlets that are under their accreditation as well. But it was really nice that they were just like, oh, do you want to go to the opening ceremony? You have a ticket. So that was lovely because I wasn't even really thinking about it until a week or two ago. So it felt like this great bonus. Like that was the very cool part. Figuring out how to get to the stadium was a little confusing, but then especially figuring out how to get into and find my seat. I was like getting grumpy with volunteers, which is really not fair because the volunteers are doing their best, but they kept sending me up different staircases. And then when I got up the staircase, they're saying, oh, I'm sorry, you have to go back outside and go around to a different staircase to get, like, that happened literally 3 times. And I was getting hot and I was thirsty and they don't let you bring in any water. So then I was going to try to queue for water at the concession, but the line was so long, I was going to miss the start. So eventually I went back during the Parade of Nations, missed about the middle 20 countries in order to just try to get a Fanta. And it was, so that part was stressful. Leaving was also interesting. My experience was fine because everyone was in a good mood and being reasonably patient. And so the experience of funneling everyone into one metro station where they had a ticker above these gates that said, that counted down how many people were inside. And once it had gone to 500, the gates closed and you were stopped for 4 or 5 minutes until they let in another 500 people. And when they were letting people in, it was the first time I'd been in a crowd where I was like, the crowd is just moving me. So I could see that being really scary, as if you were short, if you were less abled, like in any of those circumstances. Because the crowd was kind of cheerful around me, it didn't feel like I was going to be trampled, but it was also a bit of a strange experience. Yeah.
How was the public transportation around the ice rink, the figure skating ice rink?
That's pretty good. So you can take the M2 metro line directly to the rink. It's the last stop on the line. So when you get on it, the trains are empty, which is nice when you're leaving. Everything is a bit of a walk, is what I've been discovering, is like from the metro station into the arena. You have to kind of go up and over the highway on a bridge, and then it takes you quite a while to walk in. But again, it wasn't bad. But I would say definitely, leave enough time to get to your seat. And I am going to check out a little bit more of the arena today. Just yesterday, I didn't leave the press zone at all from when I got there in the morning until I was leaving in the middle of the afternoon. The media gets hot water and instant coffee, and there's a little stand we can buy some things from. I didn't buy anything. I heard that there was not enough food and drink in the rest of the arena. Hopefully they will fix that.
I read that and I was like, how does Anna get to me and my seat and gets me the water from the media area?
Yeah, so one of the things today that I'm going to try to figure out is, can I get from the media area and the media seats into, the regular sort of concourse of the arena? Because there's a few different things I have to meet people for, and it would be a lot easier to meet people inside the arena than try to find some meeting spot outside because of how they do the funneling and the crowd control. So I'm going to investigate that today, and I will let you know how that works.
If I have my water supply.
I was going to say, usually I'm able to bring in food and water through, and I think I will be into the arena itself. For San Siro, for the opening ceremonies, no, they almost confiscated my empty water bottle, which I would have been very annoyed about. But I was like, no, it's empty. See? Sorry, I feel like I was like being a really obnoxious person because I was really stressed out by that point. Anyway, but yeah, that part was less good. The other thing about the logistics I just wanted to say is that the Milano Cortina transit app, which I don't know if it's a thing that everybody can get or if it's just for accredited people, because they gave us free like monthly travel passes, which is great. I'm
That's
thrilled
nice.
that they're paying for our transit. But the app kept not giving me all of the options of how to get places. And I'm wondering if that was a crowd control thing or if it was faulty, because it told me both trying to get to and from the arena that it didn't give me all of the options, and then it like didn't show me how to get to my hotel. So I ended up having to use City Mapper simultaneously to actually get me around. So that's also recommendation to use don't try to only use that app.
I do want to know if anybody of our followers or listeners right now, if they are there, I want to know their experience. So put it in the comment after the live stream ends, and we can talk about it tomorrow. Because I'm really curious if anybody is there. I've already heard from a couple of people in our Discord who are going to be there, so it's going to be fun to meet up maybe and have a water, stand in line at the toilets. It's going to be our experience. Should we talk about the events?
Yeah. Oh, one other like non-event thing, and then we should talk about the events, was just that I went to the Pride House in Milan yesterday also, which was very cool. They were having an event, and later in the evening they were going to have a party. I was there very early, so it was very quiet, which was honestly what I wanted, to sit and have a drink and work a little on my laptop and just chill. But it seemed very cool, and so I'm looking forward to checking out some of the other houses. The Pride House, though, is free, and they have events every day, including a figure skating event on Saturday the 14th, or it's a Out Olympians event, but like 4 of the
on Valentine's
6 are
Day.
figure skaters.
What's going to happen on that? What's going to be the event?
We don't have any. Well, I was going to say we don't have skating on Valentine's Day, so no one will be skating.
Yeah, and I am aware because I'm going to be there. That's why I was asking about the event at the Pride
House. You should come with me to this, Ellie. It is. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting the name of the organization. It's the organization that Javier Raya is part of. It's like Out Olympians or Olympic Pride Olympics, or I'm sorry, that neither of those are the correct name of it. I'm just forgetting. Pride House Milan,
it's the gist,
is run by the like Pride organization for the city that normally would like do their Pride celebration, and so that seemed very like most of the events there are in Italian. It very much seemed like they have stuff for locals, but they also had a cool map that I was able to get that is like, here's like a location, like history of like queer history of Milan, that they had in Italian and English. And anyway, it was just like, it was a cool thing. It was nice to see like people were using this for other purposes. But the event on the 14th just seems to be talking about like, what is it like to be a LGBTQ Olympian and the challenges of that and stuff. And it's Caitlin Weaver and Eric Radford, Paul Poirier, and Lewis Gibson are all there on a panel, along with
awesome
2 non-figure skating athletes who I've forgotten who they were because I don't know them.
Oh, that's amazing. So let's not hope we don't increase our view count too much so we can get in.
Nobody sorry, I shouldn't be advertising this. Like, don't go. We want to go. No. It looks like a cool event though. So I was gonna say that house is free. Some of them you have to get tickets ahead of time, and it's like a whole thing. But I'm still gonna try to check out a few of the country ones because it seems like the houses are also a very cool thing.
Yeah, I think the German house is like 350 per person or something. And you have to get there. It's like super far away. So I don't know. I'm not doing that, but I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna check out maybe one of the more, maybe one of the less populated ones. Like I was looking, like Slovak House was very close to where I was. I almost went to that yesterday, and like theirs was not expensive. So I could go be excited about Slovak things.
Oh, you are going to do the Milo and Tina hunt today, right? Because Anna and I wanted to get some plushies.
Oh, just that you want me to go find plushies. Yes, I will work on that, I promise. Sorry, I thought there was like when you were saying this, I thought this was like a scavenger hunt to find Milo, like an official thing rather than
find Milo and Tina
plushies.
I think I should be the event planner for the Olympics because I would have done that.
I think it would be much more stressful than you anticipate it would be.
Probably.
A citywide scavenger hunt does sound actually very fun. I would totally be into that. But getting pins is enough. Yeah. I was only trading pins with other journalists yesterday, which was also fun, but we did not. I did not get any athlete pins yesterday.
Oh.
But I think I will have a better luck when I go to some practices and talk to people in the mix zone after practice, because I did not feel like it was appropriate to be like, also I can have a pin after I'm trying to interview people in the mix zone after their event.
That's what I feel like.
You've just had an important skate. Can we talk about pins?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like about selfies. I'm like, no, I'm a journalist. I can't ask for selfies. But I'm going to ask for my mom. I'm going to be like, can she take a selfie? That's going to be my strategy. Okay, talk about the events.
Yes.
Let's start with ice dance, because what a podium. I mean, it's not a podium yet, but
the top three. Yeah, that's certainly interesting. I mean, it's interesting to see the scores, because I feel like it's been a while since we've had over 90 for anybody. It felt a little bit like World Team Trophy scoring, which is always a little bit higher than the rest of the time. Does anybody else have thoughts?
Oh, yeah, my thought was, because I didn't think that wait, I need to remember the names.
I only watched the first couple live, and then I was in the mix zone for the rest. So I just watched and caught up with everything on TV. So, I did not see the second group in the arena, which maybe influenced it. But I really, really liked the young Polish team this is their only event. They're now done with their Olympics, which is sad, but also very cool for them that they got to be here.
They really made the most of it.
Yeah, and just most of these rhythm dances feel a little stiff, a little forced, we're trying so hard to look like we're having fun, and they actually looked like they were having fun. And that really came across.
Yeah, the energy shifted in the arena, because I think they were on second, but it was a bit muted during the first team, which was Wang Lu, and then they came out, and you could tell they had a different energy, and the music was poppier and happier, and the crowd immediately just went, "Oh, this is fun. We're going to get into this," and then they kind of fed off that energy as well.
I like the theory of Wang Lu skating to Chinese song, but the energy was not good, and I would have put the Polish team ahead of them if I was judging.
Agreed.
Yeah, I figured out the name problem, because in my head I'm like, Bok, but that's not their name.
Bok.
Sorry. So I was surprised.
Makes you sound like a chicken.
Yes. I was surprised that Shock and Bates weren't first. I mean, is this the first time they competed against the French?
Weren't they both at the final?
No, they were both at the Grand Prix final, and
of course,
yeah.
How did that end up?
Shock and Bates won.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember. I can't remember what the scores were.
Purely on vibes, I liked, or performance, kind of, I guess. If I'm going to try to be slightly more professional about it, I thought that Jock and Bates had a better performance. I actually kind of like this rhythm dance for them. It seems like I said, everyone seemed stiff. They actually did not seem stiff, and since they're a team that sometimes does have that quality, I actually thought it was really good. They seemed relaxed. It kind of was oh, we're the Americans, we're the Californians, we're chill, was the vibe that it was giving, which honestly was kind of a nice refresher compared to some of the other pieces. Yeah.
Ah, right, they had the fall. Thank you for reminding us. Yeah, Laurence fell over her dress, right?
Was that in the final?
I think
I've lost track of the competitions at this point.
I'm so sorry, there are so many competitions this season, but I think that might have happened.
My brain's melted.
They had they've had different issues with the rhythm dance.
Yeah, exactly. They've had their first competition
judging and the falls,
they slipped in the rhythm dance, and this rhythm dance felt overscored for them to me, because they just I mean, we all know we have opinions about them, but it didn't feel fun. It felt very placed. They always feel like the rhythm dance is definitely their weakest program, and it shows the lack of time they've had together as partners. It doesn't always feel comfortable, and that is not an 89 for me. So
I also personally feel like there's an arrogance to their performance that doesn't work for this team because of their personalities or like the things you know about them.
As Laura Nucky Goatman says, the audience does not really vibe with Vogue for any team. Yeah, any team that has done Vogue, except maybe juniors Hannah Maria Abreu and Danielle Veselukin. Vogue has not been my laptop nearly fell over. Vogue has not been a crowd pleaser in any circumstance. There's just something about the music is it doesn't have enough build, it doesn't have enough oomph to it, that it doesn't really get like exacerbated in the stadium. So the crowd really can't really get into it that much.
I mean, personally, at Europeans, after listening to Ricky Martin for like 6 or 7 months, I was like, give me Vogue. I'm not going to watch the skate, but give it to me. Give me the change in music.
But I think that's what helps Choc and Bates, is that no one else is doing like a Lenny Kravitz medley. And there's more oomph to that, and there's more grit to it that an audience can kind of like groove to.
I thought Piper and Paul looked really good here. I could have used a few more high spark moments in this program.
Yes.
Sometimes it feels a little like it has sort of the same energy throughout, which again I think kind of fits with this kind of music. It's like you're talking about like runway music. There's a certain amount of like we are continuing at the same energy level that is like almost innate to like this kind of thing. But I think that this program has really improved, and maybe I'm just saying that because Paul's costume is better.
It's so much better. So much better.
It just really adds to it. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Paul for his eye makeup game. Very impressive. And, you know, I was thinking about skating skills while I was just watching this again in the on the TV broadcast, and thinking about, you know, sort of, you know, the way the different skaters have different kinds of edge quality. And the thing that kept coming into my mind, I had a skating lesson a couple of weeks ago. The coach was saying, comparing it to having like a deep edge and like gaining speed on the edge, like being like a race car going around the track, and how you kind of almost like are leaning into the curve. That's what I felt like with Piper and Paul. I was like, oh, they're like the race car on the racetrack, like leaning into that curve. And it was a really like, somehow that clicked to me. I could feel the edges that they were doing. Other teams have really great edges, and it's like a smoother quality than they have. But there was something about it that I was finding like very appealing. I'm sure someone could give a better technical explanation than that, but it was what was coming to my mind.
Yeah.
I think Nao was saying it pretty well. Ice dance is already making me livid. If dance was real, the standings would be so different. I agree. Lila and Lois in third, right?
Yep. And Charlene and Marco in fifth.
I'm so sorry, because I love Lila and Lois as people. Like every time you meet them, they are so kind.
They're
so
lovely people. We don't have an issue with them as people.
Put them in second place. Give them a score that's fair, and then we can love them more. I don't want to be mad at them and the scoring every time.
And it's particularly, there is a judge, the British judge who was doing this competition. The way he scores is outstandingly horrendous. Like it's not even that he will massively inflate Lila and Lewis, which I mean he does a bit because there's bias, but he knocks down the teams that are better than them, like by a huge amount.
Where the real bias in judging comes in. I feel like this is the thing that
and it doesn't get noticed enough by the ISU, because they're mostly, when they look at bias, they're looking at them overinflating the scores of the people from their country instead of how they are knocking down people from other countries.
Yeah. Yeah. Normally I'm like, oh, there's a big gap in skating skills between the British and the Italians, but you could say that you could give the British the performance quality.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily feel that here. I don't think this is the strongest performance for Charlene, like strongest program, just in general concept. Charlene and Marco, I'm still not buying it. But I did feel like the Spice Girls didn't, I don't know. Again, I don't think it's the strongest performance that, I don't think it's the strongest program that Lila and Lewis have ever had either.
No,
and so I didn't feel as much
like
of that gap of energy between them as I sometimes do.
Yeah, and I feel like I've been seeing a lot of insecurity in Lila's performances this season. Like not the whole way through. She can mask it and sell it. That's what she's good at. But there's just, I think I could, when I saw them go towards the right side of the rink, I could almost see the flashbacks to Europeans and the issue they had in the free dance, like in her mind, like, please don't let this happen again. She like in this area. Not quite fell, but like they messed up the twizzles and
I remember
the timing went all weird. Yeah,
it was a little bit of holding back from them.
Yeah, it felt tentative in places, and so I wouldn't have had it ahead of Piper and Paul. I also wouldn't have it ahead of Charlene and Marco, but I know the judges are never going to give Charlene and Marco their flowers. And I've made peace with that, and I think they have as well at this point. Like they were even in the Kiss and Cry, they were like, maybe not our best performance today, but I mean, we're never going to be happy with the judging.
They seem very calm. I want to say, just because I talked to all of these teams in the mix zone, I was really impressed actually at how like Charlene and Marco were just like, we don't, you know, they can be like, we don't agree with how we're being judged, and at the same time, we have to kind of, and I appreciated but they were like, but we're just going to try to skate as well as we can, and we're going to try to enjoy this. And like, I feel like, you know, mentally that they seem like in a good, like, mental, emotional place with that. I asked Marco about, you know, now that more skaters and were speaking up about scores this season, what he thought about that. And he, you know, he did say that he thought it was a good thing that more people were willing to talk about it, and that there was some general unhappiness with the, you know, with the discipline and with some of the scores, and that they're hoping that things will get better in the future. And like, I'm not doing justice because what he said was better, you know, better phrased and more interesting than my summary of that. But I appreciated that, like, it seemed like, you know, a good place of trying to take out a little bit of that, the anger that can be kind of corrosive while still like holding onto the concept and the, you know, the core of what they believe.
Yeah, I think Europeans really settled them a bit, because the results in the first half of the season were so bad and so demoralizing for them. And like, I think one of their quotes is that they felt like they disappeared around the first half of the season, because obviously they didn't make the Grand Prix final. And, you know, winning Golden Spin is fine, but it's not, nobody really watches it because it's never a really good stream, and Grand Prix final is going on at the same time. So while that's like good, and the scores still are not competitive with the top teams. So to go to Europeans and come second, especially when that's Lila and Lewis's home event, and the reaction of the audience as well, I think that really settled them and brought them peace as like going into this Olympics.
But also, this is their home event.
Yeah,
they should.
And that gets overshadowed.
Give them a bit of a push.
Yeah, I mean,
we wish.
I don't feel like, looking at these rhythm dance scores, I still would say that it is, you know, I don't think anybody should go, okay, we've got no hope of those top, you know, of those three fighting for the bronze. I think, you know, maybe this is how the ordinals are going to end up in the individual event. Maybe this is how that's going to all end up. But I also am not ready to, like, they're within a couple of points. I'm not ready to say that, you know, this is how it's going to go for the rest of the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saved a meme and I wanted to read it out. This is a reading of the meme. I posted it in the Discord as well. This is a guide to ice dancing scoring by Cray Days. Number 1, don't try to understand ice dance scores. Number 2,
No.
some easily identifiable things to be able to judge. Speed and ice coverage, skating and hold, depth and fluidity of edges, difficulty of lifts. Number 3, however, none of this matters. This
Nope.
sport is scored on. Are they part of IAM, which is a figure skating school in Canada? Age, seniority, because usually the older you get, the higher your scoring is in your placement.
That's Charlene
And
Munger.
third, does your federation like you, or do they not care? Because then if they don't care. And fourth, vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's what ice dance has become. Yes.
Yeah. It used to be different, and we are hoping. So this is for the new viewers. Everybody else who has been around for a while knows this.
Hashtag bring back the waltz.
Yeah, we are craving for the
Here.
your
Yes.
So yeah, but there were other events, not just ice dance.
Should we move on to less corrupt events?
Yes. I feel like I got happier about the state of the sport and my upcoming Olympic experience as each event went on. So
The women were amazing. Let's talk about those last. I was
yeah.
so
We'll
happy.
go in the order and go to pairs.
Yeah.
We'll start at the beginning. It's so disappointing to see what Sway and Ham look like now. Yeah. Like, I get wanting to come back, but you're not fit enough to come back, and you're a shadow of the team that you were in 2022, and it's just sad. It's just sad to watch.
They are so
I rewatched,
lost. And it's like so sad for all of us to see them like this.
Yeah.
I watched their 2022 free skate recently. We'll share this later, but when we did the pairs event, individual event preview, Sandra Bezic gave us a long list of like the greatest Olympic pair programs of all time to go back and watch. And so as I was thinking about that, I was watching this. And so then seeing them here, it's so sad because this is also this is the first time I've ever gotten to see them live because I didn't go to many events before this quad. And so I was like, oh, this is the time I'm seeing them. I was just, it did make me sad. I did enjoy getting to speak with them a little bit in the mix zone though, which was nice again, because like people that I have admired and looked up to for so long, it was very cool to get to. That was like despite what was happening on the ice, I still had a little bit of a fan moment of like getting to meet them.
That was like, I have tickets for the short and the free, and I'm so excited to see them on the ice, but I know it's not going to be the peak performance. I hope I would like to talk to them about their mentality, like why are they doing this to themselves?
Yeah.
Is it now because this entire season has been really not a happy place for them? It must be. They must be disappointed in some way. So do you just continue and push through and be like, okay?
I do wonder
if
Wenjing hadn't gotten injured in the last month or so, I do wonder if they would have gotten to a better place because they were looking stronger each competition through the fall.
Yeah.
And so it's a thing where I'm like, oh, give them time. I do believe that they would get back to a competitive place, if not to their peak of 2022. But it's just been also really tough with the injuries and the timing and everything of it. So,
I mean, we've gone from 2022 seeing them practice a quad twist and how incredible that was, and that won them the event essentially, like the extra points that they got from that. And now when they do lifts, they have a spotter on the ice in training, and that's the stark contrast in that is just insane. And like, we would all love to see them at their peak again because they are one of the best pairs teams of all time. But
and I would love to see them
happen.
I'd love to see them be able to skate not trying to do elements that they're not comfortable with. Like that's part of what I think is like, I wish I could just see them do an exhibition where they went out and did the things that they feel good and comfortable with and showed us like the beautiful qualities of their skating, and that would be, almost like that would be enough. So, yet another, please, we want professional competitions. I want the event that lets them go out and do double twist and double throws and but like huge, beautiful ones, please. But at this event, I would have put the French above them. I was actually,
I agree.
I haven't even looked at the protocols, I have to admit, so I didn't see like what the levels were on anything, but
they had higher tech. They lost on about 4 points of PCS.
Yeah, no.
So
I'm sorry, no.
It's not 4 points of PCS when that's the performance Swit and Hannah putting out.
No, and sure, they still have the speed and the skating skills, but they don't have the unison and the togetherness that they used to have, and it shows. But moving on to a happier thing, I do want to say, I was really happy to see Kami and Pavel skate well here. It wasn't flawless, but they were, I thought, really strong, and also to hear that her shoulder, she says, is completely healed. She feels totally fine. And so I know with dislocations, like completely healed may still be more at risk of a future dislocation, but that it's not impacting her. I was really glad to hear.
Yeah, because I think she had a lot of strapping still at Europeans, but also I think Riku has a fair bit of strapping that I saw, because obviously she dislocated her shoulder at nationals as well.
And sometimes the strapping is almost preventative.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you're like, in a huge
your arms
amount of
falling
pain,
off,
or you're in like, it's just
yeah.
So I couldn't watch this event because I had a work emergency. Terrible timing. But I was wondering how Sarah and Nicolo were, because
they
was
really good.
Okay,
yeah, she's been wearing a big brace on her knee in practice, and she has one in the program as well, but it's very skin colored, and unless you're looking for it, you can't really see it. But
they were my highlight of the event.
I mean, I know
we put Riku and Ryuche, and they deserve it in our Instagram post, but that, like, I was really skeptical, like, not having seen them for so long and not Europeans, and we were not getting any updates about this injury. I was like really not sure what we were going to see. That was one of the best short programs that they've ever done, and they had so much, I just feel like they had so much fire. They was like, we're here, oh look, don't count us out, like, here, I mean, and of course the program music and theme helps with that kind of attitude, but I was really impressed.
And it also really made me the Georgians, because while the Georgians were incredibly clean, like, Nasia's throw is perfect. Like, she is one of the best throwers, like landers, in the pairs event. His lift is still absolutely terrifying. Like, every single time. I know it didn't go wrong this time. It has gone wrong in the past, but every time his legs flail around in that lift, I'm like, he's going to drop her and smash her on the ice. Please stop.
No, I feel very vindicated now that Sandra has also said, and apparently all of the commentators were talking about it this time. So I'm like,
how has it taken so long for people to clock into this? Because, like, I feel like Jackie's only clocked into this this season as well. I'm like, I've been saying this since his last partnership. How have none of you noticed he can't lift?
I'm still thinking back to what Valentina Plazas told us about how European judges don't pay attention to what the men are doing with their feet, which is like, that's still sitting in my brain.
It's part of the lift.
yeah. Though I have to say, though, one of the funniest things was in the mix zone, Sarah and Nicolo talking about how like, in a good place that they were. It made me really laugh that Sarah said, like, basically, like, we're closer, like, we're like better, like, together now than we ever have been. And I'm just like, you used to date. And
you used to be a couple for quite a while.
But I mean, good for them. And also, I don't know if we put this in any of our quotes anywhere, but Nick talked for a long time about his work with a therapist and how it's like really helped him to like manage his emotions and his
Yeah.
anxieties around the competition, and just like working with a sports psychologist has been so helpful for him. But that also he like through most of this year, I think what he was saying was he went and did a little bit of work like right before this event, but that mostly through this year he was like, you know what, I'm good, I'm not gonna go, because he wanted to kind of prove that he could incorporate that himself and not feel,
Yeah.
you know, dependent on that help.
Yeah.
And so that he's done, I mean, and Sarah was like, he's done so basically like he's done so much work on himself. And like again, I really appreciate that, because I'm the more we hear athletes talk about it, the better. And I think that I do see the difference, because I remember seeing him both in the mix zone and sometimes even in practices, like I watched them in training in Bergamo, and like
Yeah.
he, you know, they'd make a mistake and he'd be so angry,
Beating
not at
himself up
Sarah, just
about it.
like at
Yeah.
himself, but he'd like, it was clear the emotion just would be really
Yeah.
impactful for
You
him.
could
So
see
for
that
him to be able to learn
sometimes
to
at the end
balance
of
that,
skates. Yeah, you could see that sometimes at
yeah.
the end of skates when they would have a bad skate. You could see him beating himself up about it, and that like you never want to be showing that on the ice. You don't want to be showing the judges that.
Yeah, and to be able to, I mean, obviously, I don't like policing people's emotions in the kiss and cry or in the mix zone. Like, if you have the emotion, that's
Yeah.
fine. But I do appreciate how he's also like recognized that figuring out how to, like, I don't know, use that, you know, it's like, can you
Yeah.
put that frustration into a more like productive and less
Productive.
destructive place? Yeah, just overall good for them. I'm really excited for I mean, obviously we have to see, does this keep up through a free skate? Can this keep up through the competition? Like, but yeah, that was a really amazing, like, we're here, don't count us out moment.
Yeah. As Laura Naki Goldman says, I feel like I need a TED talk from them on how to stay friends and work together after a breakup. It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
I was going to say you can join in Madison Hubble and Zach Donahue that, but that's not gone well post-retirement. So.
But I also feel like I need a TED talk from people who are a couple and who are staying together, because I wouldn't know how they make that work. Staying
Yeah.
together 24/7, I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember with the Kovalevs, I think Europeans, they were asked like, I think they were asked like who's in control or whatever. And she said he's in control on the ice and I'm in control off of it.
That's funny. Somebody asked them about Valentine's Day, because there's like, you know, they're talking all to couples who are going to be competing on Valentine's Day or around that, and they're just basically like, yeah, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day, like our wedding anniversary is a thing. And then Papa was like, I think Valentine's Day is like a scam. It's like a fake holiday, and it just made me laugh, because I was like, okay, go for it. But they just like, we're not buying into the premise of the question.
So
other
Quest.
pairs things that I want to talk about. I was super, super happy for Yulia and Mikhail, the Polish team.
Yeah.
They skated well, like, again, like not flawlessly. They could do better than this,
Yeah.
but I could just, again, it was another one of those teams where just the relief of being here and skating well and being Olympians and having made it. It was so nice. It was so happy for them to, yeah, I was just so happy for them to have that moment. And I think Yulia's been through, I mean, so much, just different partners and all of the struggles of 2022, and just, yeah. So I think for her,
yeah, I don't
to
know
be
if
there is such a big
everyone's
deal.
aware that Yulia qualified for the last Olympics with her partner for Hungary. They basically showed up to the event and immediately got put in COVID protocol and missed the entire thing, and it just didn't happen.
Which,
so,
if you don't actually compete, you don't get to call yourself an Olympian. So
no,
it's like they made
like,
it,
so you
but
can
didn't
go out
make
to the
it.
event and just nothing.
Yeah. So they now are Olympians. Yeah. So like that, and like, again, like, I can be a little cynical about, and like, do I think it's a good thing that the Olympics is the like be all and end all of a figure skater's career? I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, but at the same time, I'm very happy to see how much, it means for the people who are here and for them to be experiencing that is, yeah, it's a great thing to witness.
Yeah.
So anybody else?
I mean, we should also talk about Riku and Ryuichi because we haven't really delved into them yet. They look so good, so prepared. I'm so proud that they've got to this point because I feel like while they have been winning a lot in this quad, other teams have kind of been nipping at their heels, or people would think that they shouldn't have won some of the competitions they won and that other people should have won instead. But when they're on it, no one is better than them. That like the skating skills, the speed across the ice, the way they execute the elements, the way they move to the music, no one is as good as them when they're on it.
I would be surprised if I don't want to jinx it, but I would be surprised if they don't win.
Based on how they look, I would be surprised if they don't win, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, seeing the top 3 here was very exciting. Like, yeah, very, very strong. And again, that's making me very excited about what we're going to see in the individual event. I was sorry for Ellie and Danny to have the mistake on the throw.
Yeah.
I think we'll see how that does, but it's going to be interesting with the US and Japan so close.
Mm-hmm.
Little things like one placement more or less for the pair team or the dance team might end up being the things that kind of that shift it, which is not a place that these teams are usually in for medal contention. So that was that's tough. But
I was gonna say, I don't think you risk changing out the pairs for the free. I don't think you put Chan Hao in for the free.
No, I agree.
Just because even though Ellie and Danny have that issue with the throw, potentially both throws, they have the PCS to like overcome the mistakes. They might not be as high as other pairs, but Chan Hao are much more inconsistent as a whole. And if they falter, their PCS will not hold them up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, so much of this stuff, it's like, okay, which of does Canada or France make the free? And
it's all on the men.
If so, then which pair is in there? Leah and Trent could, if they have a great free skate, could knock Ellie and Danny down a peg. Probably the Kovalevs wouldn't. So it's like these are the things that I do think are really interesting about the team event that I definitely still encourage, if people haven't watched our preview with Megan Duhamel, to go back and watch it, because she does a great job of thinking analytically about the points and the scoring and how this might play out. But definitely that's still on my mind. Leah and Trent, again, another team that it's great. Now they're Olympians. I feel like, again, we didn't talk about, but Trent narrowly missed out on going to an Olympics with Evelyn in 2022. And so, it's cool. It's another team that is now.
I was very proud of how settled he looked in that program. I think Leah was the one who was shaky. Leah looked nervous. And I think it was good to have the team event for them to get those nerves out of the way, and hopefully things will be better for them in the individual. Obviously she was shaky coming down from the twist, and then what else went wrong? The spins weren't very good. But everything, for them, that was a fairly good performance. The throw was fine, the jumps were fine, and Trent looked Trent has not always been the most stable. Sometimes the jumps go wrong, but he looked good, and it's just a case of Leah getting over those nerves.
Excuse me. Yeah, I'm not worried about them overall with those things. I know they hate the the spin. It's their least. They've said several times that's their least favorite element. But it's I think overall they look very strong. And I did just also want to mention, I think it was such a shame for Anna and Luke, the British team, to have the fall that they had on the throw here, and just a couple other things I didn't know before this event, that Luke has had an injury and a wrist injury,
Yeah.
and so they haven't had the preparation that they wanted coming into this, and so it's just they've had a tough time since Europeans, and I'm glad that they now have a little bit of time
Yeah.
to hopefully finish healing that and be able to come back stronger for the individual, because I think they were the one team here that I was like, oh, that they had the potential to be higher than they did. It wouldn't have made
Yeah.
any difference in the broader team event, but like
Obviously, yeah.
it would have been nice for them to have that better opening. But just
think,
wanted to say that is what was going on with them.
Yeah, I think Jackie Wong said that they actually had one of the best throws he'd seen in warm up. So it's incredibly unfortunate that that's how badly the throw went in the actual skate.
Yeah, and when I saw it on the replay, I was like, it wasn't terribly off, but the way she fell made it a little bit harder to kind of get back up into
like
it.
She just her form's off and she opened up too early, and it was never going to come down in the way it should have landed.
Women?
On to women.
Yeah, let's talk about women. That was a great women's event.
Yes, I mean, nobody fell.
Yeah.
Nobody popped. Like, go on.
No, I had a good time.
I watched the whole thing up from the stands because at that point I learned that it was going to take everyone so long to get through TV that I could watch and still catch a few skaters in the mix zone, and I needed to sit for a minute. So, which I'm very, very glad that I did get to watch, because I don't know how much, again, between mix zone and back and forth, it's like very hard to actually see a lot of the skating, and their mix zone is not close to the press tribune. So it's not super easy to go back and forth. And I knew that I really wanted to see Cowrie Short at least once in this event.
Yes.
So, and I'm really, really glad that I did. But yeah, this whole event was really fantastic. And especially the last group, especially the last three skaters were just some of the best short programs that I've ever seen. And it made me so happy to be able to start off the Olympics with that.
Yeah.
I'm this close to buying tickets for the women's short just to see Kaori skate to that song.
I know. I'm sure that I'm never going to see Kaori skate live, because she's been my favorite skater for years and I love her.
Going through the starting up from kind of like going up from the bottom here as I'm looking at this, I did want to say big shout out to Kristen Spars, who has been going through it this season, is such a strong person. And I know she wouldn't have wanted to have some of the mistakes here with the single axle that really hurt her score wise. But one, definitely encourage everyone to go read Sarah Nazumi's piece with Kristen, where she talks about a lot of her experiences this year. It's a really great interview. And two, I love that she skated to the speech from the great dictator in front of JD Vance. That is such a power move. I love that.
It's so good. Much. It's like, it won't register with him, but we all know.
Yeah, exactly.
There were so many speeches about peace at the opening, and like at the opening ceremony, or like about community, and I was like, he's not gonna listen to those.
He's not gonna listen to
a word. But honestly, I thought it was pointed. Just gonna say, like, I definitely thought that, there's always stuff about peace, but this felt a little more like, are you listening, than some of the times in the Olympics. Also, good job, audience, for correctly managing to cheer for the U.S. athletes and boo for JD Vance simultaneously. Like, I was like, that was very spot on.
Precise.
No, and it reminded me. The speeches reminded me of the female priests who, right after the inauguration or something, they were in a church, and the priest was like. And this reminded me of that a little bit. They should have had a spotlight on him during that part.
Yeah, it's like we are
Yeah.
going to take this opportunity that we have to do this thing. No, I appreciated it. The journalist from the New York Times was asking all of the American skaters, like, what does it mean to be representing the US right now in this moment? And she wasn't asking quite a pointed enough question that the skaters were able to kind of get away with saying, "Oh, well, representing my country is a great thing, and I love being at the Olympics." And they were able to
Yeah.
kind of avoid the political
They're like
subtext
not
of it
going in the
mostly.
political avenue.
But
Which
there were
but
some athletes who gave very good answers to that question.
Yeah,
was
I
very
saw that. I
proud of
don't remember who it was. There was a guy who said, just
Ski
because
or
I'm like
something.
representing the US doesn't mean I'm representing everything that they're doing. Like,
And they also
yes.
they talked about ice, like they were like, "This is
yeah,
happening." And I thought, like we can, like when we talk about Cicerone, and like we can talk about it as much as we want, but
Yeah.
you can hint at it. But at one point, you have to be
Mhm.
like very straightforward and be like, "No."
Well,
yeah,
and I did appreciate, I mean, as usual, Alyssa is going to be the person who is going to say what she wants to say. But, basically she said, like, I hope that we show that there's lots of, lots of Americans are a diverse group of people, and there's lots of different ways of being an American and representing the country. And that's kind of true on our team. And like, I hope we show that. And I thought that that was a, for good points for diplomacy there,
yeah.
Alyssa, for
I saw a
managing to kind of
TikTok.
say that without yeah.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok that was basically like the majority of the figure skating team at the Olympics are either immigrants or the child of immigrants.
Yeah.
Like overwhelmingly so. There's very few people who are not.
Yeah.
Women.
As we're going back to
Yes,
the women,
continue with the women.
Good job, Katya.
Yes.
There were definitely the unders there, but I love watching sort of her skate in this like new mature version of
Yes.
herself. Her program here was beautiful. I thought she honestly could have gotten higher component scores than they gave her.
Yeah,
I thought
agreed.
it was one of the best programs actually in terms of performance of the whole event.
Yeah. It's also good to see Loreen do better because obviously she really struggled at Europeans. It's good to see that she looks a lot more calm and a lot more settled now. I think the stress was getting to her. But I think now she's
almost
here.
Keeps up with this program now. I'm like, I've been watching her improve at it all season, and I need her to like the last like 15 seconds of her step sequence. I need her to give like a little more like wild energy, please. Like we need you to be a little more like I'm headbanging on stage than she quite manages. But she's really getting
she's getting there.
I've been watching this improve all season, and it no longer, like at the first it felt like a mismatch to her energy, and now like I feel like she's bringing me with her on the program.
Yeah, for sure. I thought Maddie was underscored. I just like maybe not placement, but just 64.97 feels a bit low for what she put out there.
I think she thought the same thing.
Yeah, she usually does. she never holds back from showing her opinion on her face. But like you could clearly tell when she came off the ice that she felt great. She was like, "I love team events," like because Maddie has a reputation for being like the team event whisperer. But I would have maybe had her closer to maybe 66. It just felt a bit low.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that they could have gone a little higher on GOE for some of her elements. I think she's got very good spins. And I think that this is one of the programs that she really, really sells. I did think that the Q on her triple toe and her combination was fair. And that I've seen her do that clean, and I don't think it was clean in this event. One of the things that's kind of fun about where the media is sitting, and I don't think it was true for her combination, but like for a lot of the jumps, they were happening in the corner right in front of me, and I was at the perfect angle to be able to really see the tracings on the ice, which is not the be all and end all of judging, whether a jump is clean or whatever, but like, it was one of the times where I was the most like, I have a strong opinion about whether this jump should be called. So it was kind of, because again, depending on where you're sitting, depending on, you know, how much you trust your eyes for something that's that fast, it's pretty hard to actually judge that in real time. But yeah, like I had the angle on the ice. It was a camera angle, my eyes angle, that I felt like I actually had opinions about it this time.
Yeah.
So I was very impressed when you were analyzing the eyes afterwards, and you were like, "No, that eyes didn't look."
But it was funny. I mean, and again, I thought that looking at Gubanova, I thought that her score also fair. I thought her Lutz was under or had the Q, and you know, it was a good, again, very good overall. I don't know about her spin levels, but like it was a good but you know, again, one of the better programs we've seen her skate. And
I was very happy for Gia here because she's had a lot of problems this season with that Lutz combination. So just to see her not fall on it, and I think this really helps her confidence going into the individual event, because Korean know they're not making the free. Like, they don't have a pairs team. They're literally just here for the vibes and to like basically use this as a practice run through for the individual. So I think that brings her a lot of confidence. Just kind of, obviously, like, she's still very young, first time on Olympic ice. It's just like, it's basically like a practice, but with an audience. So she could feel a bit more settled now about that.
Well, and this is one of the times where I don't believe, actually, this is a question I want to find an answer to. I don't think that they're allowed to get feedback from the tech panel between the individual and between the team event and the individual. That's something I want to learn. I don't, typically you're not allowed to get feedback with like while the competition is still going on, like between the short and the free. But I don't know about between the events. So I want to find that out. But
I feel like maybe they do, but maybe it's changed. Because like, I remember back in the day with Tessa and Scott, they did a variation on their lift. I was gonna call it the colloquial name, but let's not do that on the stream. The lift where she goes on the shoulders. They have a variation from the team event to the individual event. So they went back to the more aesthetically pleasing version.
I mean,
so
you can get feedback by simply looking at how the judges score you.
I think that was what they did.
Versus
they looked at the score.
Like actually going to the tech panel and saying, why did you give me a level 3, and getting an answer, which you're allowed to do after the event, and people do. But but this is one of the advantages of being in the team event, is that you have the same tech panel between like who's judging women here and who's judging women in the individual. And so
you know how they're going to score you.
For Gia, who got I'm looking at her protocol right now, her last 2 elements, she got a level 3 on her step sequence, a level 3 on her layback spin. That spin, a whole bunch of she didn't get below a 3 on GOE. Lots of judges gave her a 4. That's, you know, that's clearly, it's a great spin, but she lost a level.
Missing a level.
And the same thing with the steps. So like those are things that she could actually look at. And even if, you know, again, even if you couldn't get feedback from this tech panel, which, because we know tech panels are not consistent, it would be great. It's, you know, having, but her coaches can look at it and, you know, can try to help her figure out how to get those level 4s for the individual event. And that's, you know, could be really helpful. I thought that her PCS could have been higher, honestly.
Yeah, it does feel like she was held back a little bit.
Yeah. But this was my first time seeing her skate live, I believe. And I was looking forward to that, and it did not disappoint.
I'm so happy for Lara Naki-Goodman that she had a good skate.
I've been praying all season for her to get over 70, so for her to get 71, amazing.
I love that so much. I'm so happy for her. Like, I'm just going to keep saying this over and over again. She's been one of my favorite skaters for a really long time. I think she's one of the first skaters that I ever did an interview with, like back at like Nepala Trophy and 4 years ago. And so watching her get what I think she deserves, because she's always been such a great skater, but now she has the jumps and is starting to get the reputational scoring that let her actually place up there. She's also such a nice person, and such a like thoughtful person about her skating also. I really enjoy her. And so I just like, unabashedly, I'm just like, I'm always rooting for her.
Yeah, her free is my favorite program of the season, I think.
Yeah. I feel like the free gets a lot of attention, but the short is also very good.
It is.
Like,
But I feel like the short is also made to skate to an Italian audience, and the free feels like just having fun here.
Yeah. But I love how they've managed to find ways in the short also to kind of incorporate some of her quirkiness. And there's one moment in it that she just has like right in the beginning, this just waltz jump across the ice. And that it's such a Laurie Nickel move, and it's so cool. It's just like every time I'm like, ooh, there's those little moments that I enjoy.
I also love how the program ends. It just like scratches an itch in my brain. It's so good.
Yeah, I think she's got the best combination of programs, like two programs that are very different from each other and also both work so well.
Yeah. I don't know if you talked about this yesterday, but her progression from 4 years ago to now.
Yeah, I did a tweet about that, how 4 years ago she was the alternate for the Olympics in the women's event and got one of the additional athlete quotas to just be in the team event. She wasn't in the individual. And now she's coming into the Olympics as a European medalist and is third in the team event. It's just incredible progression.
Yeah. I'm just going to keep saying I love her so much. I'm so happy for her and for her to keep doing so. I mean, I feel like Lara and Maddie, like team event, like such good team event skaters and continuing to prove it.
Yeah.
Alyssa, again, beautiful program. I feel like so she got a Q on her loop, and I think that's fair. I saw the one that she did, the Lutz loop, in practice, and it was like perfect. I cannot imagine like a cleaner combination. It was so good. Her jumps aren't huge, like, in terms of like you could imagine like a jump with more height and distance, but like it was so good. It was much scrappier in the actual skate, which, I mean, credit to her for making it work when it was like not as good of a Lutz landing in the actual program. But
she also struggled a bit on the axle as well, didn't she? Like there wasn't great flow out of it.
Yeah. Question. I thought when you got a Q, it had to go negative GUE. Can you put a 0? You must be able to, because that's what most of the judges did.
Because it's usually like bullet points, isn't it? So if they saw other stuff in the jump that they considered good,
you're just not allowed to go positive with it.
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I would have to recheck that, but
I mean, I just again, I'm looking at this here, and I don't have the nationality of the judges in front of me, but I'm looking. Most judges gave that a 0. There were 2 -1s and 1 -2. Other skaters get Qs and they get all like -2s. So it's I'm not usually this into the protocols, but I'm looking at it right now, and so I'm like, interesting.
But it's interesting when they're going to be skating again in the same competition like later on to see how they're going to better things, or if these are trends.
Exactly. I still love this program. I still think it is a masterpiece, and I still think that she deserves to be getting the program component scores that she gets here. Do I think that there should be a bigger distinction possibly on the skating skills here compared to Kaori? Maybe, but I still think that they are getting pretty fairly rewarded here. I think a lot of people think Alyssa's overscored, and I can see that sometimes.
Sometimes,
but I'm going with it here. I look at this and I'm like, yeah, that should be a mid-70s program.
I mean, obviously Kaori was not perfect technically either. She did have the call on the Lutz, I think it was, or was it the flip?
She had an exclamation on the Lutz.
Yeah, she had an exclamation on the Lutz. I was looking at Alyssa's flip before, that's why I was thinking of a flip. but yeah, when Kaori is on, no one is beating Kaori. Like, she's just, the way she skates is different to how everybody else skates. It's like the power, the way she can change to the mood. Like, she'll slow down, she'll speed up. Like, she'll be stronger, she'll be more, you know, fragile. The way she can change the way she skates, no one else can do that.
I had a moment in this so I had a moment in this program where I actually almost started to cry, and I didn't think that was going to happen to me this early in the competition. And it was during her first spin. It's like her second element in the whole program. She has her camel spin, and the words like "time to say goodbye" came up like just as she went into her kind of like, not a pearl, but like, I don't even know what you call that variation that she does after the donut. But it's such a her position, and I just had this moment of like, oh, Kaori, and the things that make her so, you know, that we've been seeing her do throughout her whole career, and this one spin variation, like, it just, you know, it's funny because it wasn't like a particularly emotional moment of the choreography, but it made me have that like feeling of, oh, I'm gonna miss her and the things that are unique to her.
I was saying in the Discord, I don't understand how she doesn't cry every single performance, like every single skate. I would be a sobbing mess by the end of it every single time.
I was nervous for her going in. She didn't have a great 6-minute warm-up, and she's been looking a little nervous all season. And then, but then in the actual program, it was so good. And honestly, I thought her Lutz edge was pretty good. I mean, I didn't watch the slow-mo, but I saw the tracing on the ice, and I thought it looked pretty good. I mean, it looked like she was trying so hard to be on the outside edge that she slightly threw off her axis, and I was a little worried about whether she was going to land it. But it looked like a lot. It looked like a Lutz to me. So, and I'm willing to be plenty critical of her on that jump in general. But I appreciate that she was really trying to make it work here.
Yeah.
Looking at the time, we should probably talk about men.
Yeah.
Yeah, very quickly, like, preview the men's event that we're going to begin tonight.
But if you only go back to watch one thing, I'm going to say watch those last 3 women's short programs. That was some of the best skating. Not only like best skating of like the quad so far, like in those programs. It was so good.
So it feels like it is going to come down to Gogolev and Kevin on who's going to make the free skate for France and Canada, which is incredible. Gogolev is at a disadvantage in terms of starting order. He is starting second after Ed Appleby, and obviously Kevin is not until the second group. But in terms of who's been having the better season, Gogolev's been having the better season, because obviously Kevin has had some real stinkers and did not even qualify for the free skate Europeans.
Has Kevin done team event before?
He's done World Team Trophy.
Yeah.
I don't remember who did the team event in 2022.
Yeah, I was just thinking in terms of, since we know so much of Kevin's challenges with competition will often come down to the mental side. I was wondering if the team event feeling I feel like with some skaters, it like takes them a little out of themselves and like their own, like they're working for the team. So.
But I was thinking, like, all the other teams look like teams, and Team France looks like they want to be anywhere but there.
It's the vibes are off. The vibes are really off, which is not usual for Team France either, because like usually at World Team Trophy they're having a blast. So the vibes really feel off around Team France, and I'm gonna say that's because of a certain presence of an ice dance team.
I'm also blaming the ice dance.
I'm gonna I mean, do we know what's actually happening? No. Do we want to blame it on them? Yes. So
okay, so France weren't in the team event last Olympics.
Right. Okay. Yep.
I did not remember that. But no, obviously they didn't really have a pairs team at that point, did they? Or not a good one, but Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, that's going to be, I mean, that's going to be super interesting. I mean, I love the men. This is a group where I think we can say that Ed is going
Last time that'll be said for a while.
okay, so I'm very excited to see Ed make his Olympic debut.
Yes, I'm so happy for him. He looks like he's been having the best time.
I saw him in the crowd during the opening ceremony. Yeah, he looked so good. I hope he has the best short program skate. I hope he has so much fun. I hope he takes it as good experience and learning from it. And it does not matter how he places at all.
Exactly.
And he
There
will
for the
almost
vibes.
certainly be last unless somebody has a disaster on some unforeseen.
You never know. He beat Kevin at Europeans.
I know. I was gonna say, like, all the that was gonna be my only prediction of what order they were gonna end. I think Ilya first, Yuma second.
It's a given, yeah.
Ilya first, Yuma second, and Ed probably last. Other than that, anyone could go in any order in this group.
I mean, Samoylov didn't have a great European short either.
No, it's true.
Like, he was close to not qualifying.
Yeah. I mean, if we look at this group, Steven Goglev, Samoylev, Boyang Jin, to some degree, but not quite as much, Grassl, to some degree, but not quite as much, Nika Agadze. If they, pop a quad and don't get any points for it, they could tank.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the levels in GOEs or the PCS in their non-jump elements to make up for it.
Exactly. Because, like, I mean, John's
or they could land 2 quads and be in the top 3. So it's like
exactly. Yeah. Like, John's score can really tank when he messes up, but he's still going to have that PCS because he is that kind of skater. And he's very clearly just there for the vibes for the team event because, like, you've got all the other men going, well, not all the other men because obviously Nika was there, but you got like Ilya, like, oh, I'm not going to the opening ceremony because I'm preparing for the team event, and just like John's like, I'm holding the flag. He's just having the most fun.
I mean, but that's great. He gets to put his programs out there and release his short out there and get that warm up and that experience. So yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity for him. I think, and certainly I think that's true for everybody, but for right now, like we said, for Canada and France, it's who will make the free skate. And then for Georgia and Italy, they're in a fight for the bronze. And so how
I guess
Daniel and Nika do, it just makes me laugh because those are two of the skaters that I often am like the most, and like I'm not trying to say anything bad about like them, but they're two of the skaters that I'm often the most like annoyed about scoring higher than skaters that I am rooting for. Like historically, I have been annoyed at them for how the judges score them and their placements in competitions. And so it's kind of funny to me that I'm watching the two of them now as like, for this. But I do think it'll be very interesting to see how this panel calls Daniel's jumps. I think that will say
I was just
a
thinking,
lot.
Because we're thinking Canada versus France for the last spot.
Yeah.
We're not really considering the potential of menning because, like, if Nika had a really bad skate, it's not impossible to say that maybe Georgia would get taken out of it and Canada and France would make it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right.
I mean, they have 20 points and then 19 for Canada and 17 for France.
Okay,
like, it's not impossible.
Right. It could be, yeah.
Something dramatic could happen, and you should never rely on the men. So
it's funny why
Nika was coming to this as European champion, so you'd think that would boost his confidence.
It's funny that they have them skate last. It's almost like they know this is going to be the most chaotic part.
Yeah, no, it is funny. I'm also really interested to see what Ilya does in terms of content, because he's got this trade-off between putting his hardest content out now versus saving it, because the men are not that far away. And then but then he also, again, I don't think that Yuma can beat him, probably. But
It's been
in the short, maybe.
He has beaten him in the short.
If Ilya's not doing the
It's
quad
rare.
axel, which we don't think he's probably going to do here, like, I don't know, it's possible. So it's good. I think that's going to be an interesting one. I'm not, I have not been watching the ins and outs of Ilya's jump layouts enough to make a prediction, just because how many quads Ilya does in a skate is just not the thing that makes me interested in the sport. No shade to the people who like are tracking that. I'm glad they're tracking it. That's not where my head's at. But it will be interesting to see in terms of where they go from here. The other thing that I was thinking about, talking to a lot of skaters recently about, and former skaters and people about the team event and the timing of this competition, it's a lot of skaters were saying, don't make too much of a big deal about whether people are skating the team event or not skating the team event, in terms of like being tired and when their next event is or something like that. Because yes, the emotional energy of competition can be draining, but so can being around the Olympic Village or waiting for your competition to happen, or any of those things. And in terms of physical recovery, these skaters are training full programs every day right now. So it shouldn't be impacting. I mean, caveat for those dealing with injuries and stuff, but like, they shouldn't be at a level of physical fitness that, skating a free skate and then, 2 days later skating their short program, like that shouldn't be a consideration from a physical standpoint. So I'm just like, because I feel like we often talk about it that way, as if like, where they're going to get tired out in the team event. And I found that interesting, that a lot of the skaters that have been through it, and this was true from Megan Duhamel, but also others that I've talked to, are saying that like, no, that shouldn't be the impact of it.
We were talking about it a little bit yesterday. I feel like it's way more distracting to be in the village. Like, some house has like some gaming room where people can video game, and I'm like, I don't think I would be able to do that.
And you can go adopt a plant, and you can go meet athletes from all the different countries, and the food court's open 24/7. Like,
that's incredible as well. Like, you just wander in there like 4 a.m. I was like, get some food. Like, you should be asleep. You should be resting.
I mean, to be fair, I think that's why they athletes, like, they can log in and be like, not see the distractions, but I would be running around and be like, oh my god, this, and I'm getting this freebie and pins, and I would go crazy there. So so
I feel like the men is where most of my energy is for today, but we also have the free skate. So not knowing exactly yet who will be in the free skate, but I do think it'll be interesting to see how the top 5 here are, if it is in fact the top 5 that we're expecting for the individual event, who make it into the free skate. It will be very interesting to see how they're scored against each other. If France or Canada are not there, then there will be one team that will have a question mark about compared to the others, which also will be kind of interesting to see. So again, like I've been going with the assumption Georgia's going to make it and knock out Canada, or knock out France or Canada.
But you never know.
But then it's possible that Georgia won't be there, and that we will see all 5 of them. In some ways, not to knock on Georgia, and I have actually been quite enjoying Deanna and Gleb's skating this season, but it's I would be more interested if we get to see the top 5 free skates.
Do we think anyone, just quickly before we finish, do we think, because obviously we don't have the free dance lists yet until after the men's short program, do we think anyone is going to change? Do we think Lockraver, Brissot draw in if France go in? Because Lawrence and Guillaume don't want to do both. I've seen some people think Piper and Paul might give way to Marjorie and Zach, but I don't think that's going to happen because Canada are going to go for a medal.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think Canada have much of a shot of a medal,
But you never
then
know.
does it make a difference to have, you know, Piper? I mean, yeah,
Piper and Paul are
Paul,
likely to beat Charlene and Marco.
Yeah,
so
that's true. The thing is that they've already made these decisions.
Apparently Guy said they would do the free dance. This is very interesting because like several months ago they said they didn't want to do the team event at all. So for them to do both sections of the team event is very interesting because Guy has never seemed like the kind of person who wants to be doing team events.
Well, it's risky a little bit, I would think, too, for them, because if they lose
to Maddie and Evan again,
both sections or the overall to Maddie and Evan, that's not a great start.
Like the optics of that going into the individual make it look like Maddie and Evan are going to win.
If they beat them in a big way on the free skate, that would help shake up the things. If they don't skate at all, they're in a behind, but with a big question mark.
Exactly.
And we'd rather have that big question mark and let it try to happen. I don't know.
Because obviously Lila and Lewis come out of the equation because Great Britain are not going to make the free.
Right. So, sorry. As I was saying top 5, I know you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's not going to.
And then them. If you assume Georgia are going to make it, the assumption will be that Diana and Gleb will come last in that section. So
I was not I totally had blanked out Japanese ice dance in my calculation of.
Oh yeah, Japanese ice dance. Well, no, yeah, Japanese ice dance. Sorry, they will come last in that section because Diana and Gleb will beat them. But yeah, it's really interesting how that's going to go.
Yeah, this is the thing that I still think is going to be so interesting, where the Japanese coming last in dance versus will the US come last in pairs
or second?
Oh yeah, well, first or second here, but I was thinking in terms of where
and then
the
pairs,
pair team will be, and when they get to the free skate is the other interesting question. So like it's just very interesting to me, like seeing how sometimes like with a team event we can be so focused on who's going to make the top like we usually are, but it's also really interesting how the placements of the teams lower down can also be so impactful, which I kind of like. I like it makes it be actually a team, and it matters how well even the not so strong members of the team can do.
Exactly. Because if Georgia didn't make it, that takes Anna and Luca out of the team event schedule. So or if Canada don't make it, that takes Leah and Trent out, and that boosts Ellie and Danny up.
Yeah,
because the Kovalevs would likely come below them if France make it. It's very
yeah. It's interesting because I feel like we don't normally have these strategy games in the same way in skating as we do
have this much strategy.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy it though, and it's nice for this because no one cares about team trophy, and so there's not this kind of strategy.
Because that's all just for the vibes at the end of the season. Everyone's just there for the vibes. Like, it's great if you win, but it's not the worst thing in the world if you don't. This is for an Olympic medal.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, they don't get another chance to get an Olympic medal.
Yeah. I'm all for treating the team event as a serious Olympic medal, and like let's have more Olympic medals, and let's go for it. So I'm totally happy with that. I won't go on for like the 40th time my rant about how I don't like how the Olympics is all about nations and patriotism and nationalities and national teams, because I don't like feeling like I have to root for a country because of a variety of reasons. So put that aside. But in my ideal world, skaters would have either a random draw of whose team they had to be on or pick their friends. Neither of those would actually work as a competition.
That's kind of what they used to do for the Youth Olympics. They used to have just like a random team of different countries, but they've scrapped that and made it actual countries, and now they've scrapped the team event entirely. So
yeah, I'm not so serious about it for this, but I do but it is the part, because I do feel like when I'm watching the rest of the time, I'm not rooting for the country. I'm rooting for the individual skater. And with this, it's a bit funny. I do think though that I admit I am rooting for the Italians to get the bronze
Yes.
here. I don't care whether the US or Japan wins the gold. Maybe for the politics of it, I'd rather Japan, just because I kind of hate bragging rights for Americans right now, even though I like all of the individual American skaters as people.
I think I'd rather Japan won,
but that aside, I am definitely, I'm rooting for the Italians, just because I think it would mean a lot for the future of Italian skating for all of those people to be able to be Olympic medalists, and for the country to have that bragging right. I think it would go a long way to like boosting what the whole sport gets to take out of the Olympics.
And I hope Matteo draws in for the free.
Yes, me too.
Please. I need, if Italy are going to get bronze, I need him to get bronze.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's talk more about this tomorrow.
Yes, I know. We don't need
to
talk
we were like, these are going to be 30-minute
streams.
streams. We've been here for an hour and a half.
Sorry.
Yeah, I have to go to the post office that closes in 30 minutes. So I've been sitting here like,
no, gotta go.
Okay, have a lovely day. When will we be here tomorrow? Probably also.
We'll have to discuss that.
Yeah, like midday.
Yeah,
it won't be too early because I refuse.
No, it won't be too early and it can't be too late. So
yeah.
So
exactly.
We'll be around.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
And we will have the ice dance preview with Mark Henretti up on our YouTube later today, so you can all enjoy watching that.
And please join all of our social media accounts and support us on Patreon, please, so we can go to the next Olympics as well.
And if anyone's coming to the Olympics and you want an Anything GOE pin, you can buy them also, and I will make sure you get one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.